Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, Chris, Stacey, and I are going to talk about Power Book 2, Season 1, Episode 2, as we continue our journey into the rise of Tariq. Stacey, where would you like to begin?
First of all, why are we bringing in random characters just to kill them 5 minutes later? Like, I was excited to see Batista. And then 5 minutes later, he was in a barrel being rolled up into a truck. Like, what are we doing?
Yes, Uncle Frank. It's very interesting how a character who's an actor who's once on Dexter, where the protagonist chopped up bodies and got rid of them, was himself chopped up and disposed of in the same damn episode. Chris, what are your thoughts on his quickly demise?
Oh, no, I was shocked too. He hasn't done a whole lot other than Dexter, but he's pretty well known, I guess, because of Dexter, really. So I essentially, if you haven't watched Dexter, then I guess he wouldn't be really anything, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I thought we would see a little bit more of him. But I guess it was just really just trying to showcase how easy it is to show that, like, even you can be part of the family and we could just get rid of you just like that. You know what I mean? The first episode, it was just this random kid, that was trying to start some noise at a party, but showing that, hey, you could be family, and if you do some shit that we don't like, you can be outed too. You know what I mean? So, so in a way, I guess that was important. I think it was just who they casted just kind of surprised people. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe STARZ had a budget. He's like, damn, we spent so much on Clifford, a.k.a. Meth, Mary J., and all these people, and we getting everybody from Power back. You know what I mean? Even, Tommy's probably coming back. Everybody's coming back. Even the
Uncle Gabe.
All these actors are coming back. Damn, STARZ, CBS had to be like, look, STARZ, y'all need to slow down. We gave y'all a little bit of budget, but y'all need to slow the hell down. You know what I mean? Oh, y'all getting the kid from Dexter. Yeah, y'all have to do something about him. He got at least 3 episodes. Just one episode? It's like, yeah, he gonna have to get off or something. Like, damn, okay, fine. We'll kill him. Bye. You know what I mean? Something. You know what I mean?
So with Uncle Frank, it just surprised me how quickly the Tejada family was okay with killing this dude with no verification whatsoever that he's a snitch. How is it that Monet was okay with the idea of sending Diana to this man, knowing that he had some, I would say, molester type, indications, by saying, my niece has filled out, and she's okay with that. Like that, that's how we get information in this family. I thought was very inappropriate.
Something tells me there's going to be more to that. I feel like that ain't going to be the first time she tries to somewhat pimp out her daughter. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to be the last time you see of that. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's going to be something to kind of show the strange relationship between Monet and her kids in general. You know what I mean? Not just her, but even with Kain. You know what I mean? Like the stuff, just the fact that she's making her son do this, and like the stuff that in the first 2 episodes, like you said, somewhat pimping out her daughter and making like her barely 18, 19-year-old kids or whatever to clean up a body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just if you're going to be upset with what she's doing with her daughter, you got to be even more upset what she's making her do to her sons, to her 2 boys. That's just insane. But I guess if you're working a criminal enterprise, I guess it's not that surprising, including the daughter thing. Especially if you watch stuff like The Sopranos and stuff, and the whole mobster stuff. That is not too surprising. It's fucked up. You know what I mean? But it's just, it's not that. It didn't surprise me. That's what I'm saying. It's not surprising seeing, like, watching a lot of criminal, like, crime type, mobster type shows and movies and whatnot. That didn't surprise me too much.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Stacey, what are your thoughts about her use of Kain and Diana?
Well, she's definitely been grooming them since they were kids.
Yeah.
So for the daughter, she's using her sexuality, her looks, her appeal to get what she wants, probably like some other families, aka Tasha and Big Mama. I'm sure Tasha learned that whole let me use a man to get what I want from somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Mary is definitely grooming her children and grooming everybody around her, her nephew, to do what she wants. She is the queen pin. Everybody around her has a purpose and they have to do what it takes to keep the family together.
See, I think to your point, Chris, I think the second time was when Diana just coincidentally went over to see Tariq. Like, I think Tariq being smart enough to be like, "Did your mom send you?" I like, she probably did, or Diana on her own, listening to her mom, was like, "I need to go to Tariq to see what's going on, with him." But I think with Kain, one, I think there's a quota. I think at this point we've established that somewhere in Power they said every episode has to have a murder and has to have a sex scene, no matter how ridiculous it is to the plot, just to make sure we check the boxes. And Tariq is not at the fucking and killing level, so that's why you got the other characters for. Like Ghost did all that shit himself, you know what I'm saying? And because once he got with Angie, draws were coming off, you know what I'm saying? But Tariq is not there yet. That will come later. No pun intended. So
you just had to.
I had to, bro. It was too easy.
Stop yourself. It was
too easy.
As the moment the worst came out, I was like, will he? It's like, it says, let's do a poll, audience. Who will David actually go there or no? And then, yeah, if you voted yes, you won a prize. No, go ahead.
What channel you think you're watching? But with Kain, I'm like, this is who he is. That's like, you don't make Tommy kill anybody. Tommy looks forward to murdering someone. I think Kain is that Tommy. Like he also for example, when Monet said, "Oh, Tariq heard too much. I need someone to put him in place." Drew said, I'll drive him. And Monet was like, "No, Kain will do it." She understands who her son is. Like,
right, but she was part of that grooming process to get him to that point. Just like Kate was part of that process to get Tommy to that point. Like, when you're a parent, you see stuff of your kids when they little, and you like, okay, he be ripping the dolls up. Let me put him on cleanup duty. Like, you see it and you groom the children to become what they are. Little girl, she always lifting up her skirt. Okay, I got something for you. Like, it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you don't see Drew's purpose. Kain is the murderer. Got it. He's the muscle, right? Diana, I guess she's grooming her to be the second queen, princess, or whatever, But Drew, it's like he hasn't given him like that kind of purpose, because Drew,
he's more of the silent threat. He's probably more diplomatic. He's the quiet one. You can put him in situations and then you don't see him coming. I think he's one of those.
I feel like it's kind of matter of fact, the way they even it was very small interaction that Drew had with Tariq, but it made me feel like even when they were talking about, like, hey, what do you learn in school? And he says art. He said, oh, art. Like, he seemed really interested in whatever. Something tells me that Drew, I don't know. I'm making a prediction and saying, like, the family's going to be at odds with Tariq, and Drew's going to be the voice of reason. Like, no, like he's cool. Like, he's cool. You know what I mean? Like you said, Stacey, like, he's going to be the voice of reasoning, and that's probably why Monet is like more of looking towards Kain that does not ask questions, just handle shit. And here Drew is more hesitant. He's not on the same level as Kain and mentally, as far as just like more gritty. You know what I mean? And that's probably why, like you said, David, with the whole like purpose. Like, he has a purpose and he's kind of there willing to do what his mom says, but he's the guy who kind of asks questions like, what, like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? I feel like that's where they're going to probably go with this character, especially him even volunteering to take Tariq home. You know what I mean? I felt like he wanted to take him home because like he wanted to like chat with the dude. You know what I mean? He's kind of like pick his mind out of things. You know what I mean? Or who knows? Maybe he thought like he knew what was going to happen with Kain being in the car with them and be like, yo, this brother, like, he might actually kill this dude. Like, you saw him putting a gun in there, and he felt that probably Tariq said the wrong thing, saying, hey, you ain't going to discuss our family business, that he's going to pop in him. And that's probably one of the reasons why Drew was like, no, let me take him. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like you're going to see, I don't know, I have a feeling that one of these kids, like as far as the boys go, not Diana probably most likely, but by the end of the season, one of them gonna have to go. There's gonna be a.
He's gonna be Raina.
It's gonna be, huh?
Oh yeah,
He's gonna be Raina.
He's the new Raina.
Yeah, he's gonna be the Raina. Like, no, he's gonna step like, no, don't do it, Tariq. I mean, Kain, like, don't, and then pop, he's gonna be shot. I feel like Drew is going to be, all right. I hate to use the whole biblical thing for this, but they named him this. His name is Kain. What is Kain in the Bible known for?
Kain killed Abel.
Kain killed Abel, his brother.
All right.
I mean, if this was Lovecraft country, I'd be like, that's the direction they're going with, because they always like use the symbolism. But it being STARZ, it don't necessarily mean that. But I don't know. I would like to think that maybe there is a really creative writer in the show to create the high idea of like, oh, we named him Kain. Have him kill Drew, even though his name is Drew and not Abel. I don't know. That's gonna be my prediction. I think that Drew probably will be the one that probably won't make it by the end of the season. You're gonna see his character develop a little bit, but it just gets snatched away. And yeah, so that's just my prediction. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
I agree. I agree. Once you say, like, I thought about, right, like if he becomes the voice of reason in this family, if he's the one who's like, and I totally agree, that's probably why he was like, I'll take Tariq, and Monet was like, no, like Kain got it. That in the end, he'll probably be the one that's got to go down. Or they may try to switch it up. Like if Diana gets too close to Tariq and Tariq starts to become a problem, because they're obviously going to be having sex at some point, like probably this season. So like if that turns into her loyalties turn towards Tariq over his family, over her family, then Kain might have to put her down, and like that would put a rift between the two of them, and that would be interesting. Like that would be interesting because it looks like they're trying to set up a love triangle between Tariq, Diana, and Lauren.
And the guidance counselor. I'm just throwing.
Oh yeah, we gonna get to there. We're gonna get to her. Hold up, we're gonna get to her. But I want to real quick. I just want to talk about a subscriber commented and said Tariq is not smart. He's just surrounded by dumb people, and I would say absolutely yes, because nothing irritated me more. Well, that's not true. The second thing that irritated me about this episode was the fact that Tariq was the only one who figures out how to Google anybody. Tariq last week figured out who Lorenzo was. Apparently, we're supposed to be led to believe that he looked up Frank too, and therefore knew how long Frank was sentenced, and therefore it was suspicious that he got out so early. But Monet, Kain, Drew, Diana, none of them bothered to Google Tariq St. Patrick, the son of the man who's buried on TV this week, whose mom is on TV.
Yeah.
I'm just, anyway, go ahead.
The reason why I hear you, but you got to remember too, this is probably the second time they even met Tariq. So remember, the first time it was a big ass block party, right? Not a big deal. Like you're going to be researching everyone. It's a freaking big party, right? That's the first time they met, right? The second time was the nephew's roommate or whatnot. You're not going to, let's be honest, even if you are running a criminal enterprise, right? You're having a roommate, like somebody's roommate come for dinner or whatnot. You're not going to think that's big of a deal. The only time, especially if I hate to bring up like the Sopranos and stuff again. The only time they ever really where they start to do their research is if that person starts to date someone in the family. You know what I mean? If you watch like stuff like Goodfellas and whatnot, they're like, so-and-so's dating someone, or like, oh, they've been around the family way too long. Yo, let's find out the background, making sure like they ain't a cop. Let's making sure they ain't they don't work for the enemy, all this other stuff. I don't think it was that big of a deal just yet, up until like his knowledge as far as Frank and like, or his knowledge about the whole, oh, he's a snitch, even though, let's be honest, you watch a few like criminal shows, that someone that gets off that easy, like anyone could figure that out, right? But I don't think it was that big of a deal that it wasn't until then that Monet was saying, okay, find out what you can on Tariq. You know what I mean? Again, just their second time meeting. The first time was amongst a big ass crowd. You know what I mean? And the second time, it wasn't even like that. It was just someone said, hey, can so-and-so come? And it wasn't until she asked a question like, wait, who invited who? when she started to be like, you know what I mean? I don't think at that time you wouldn't question it. I wouldn't imagine, right?
All right, Stacey, what are your thoughts?
Kind of disagree. I think when you're at a certain level, you kind of vet everybody, including the UPS guy. We've seen book one ghost fucking Angela for a while and never knew a damn thing about her. Like, this is a thing. So the fact that we got episode 2, hey, look into him, I think it's great. I think it's a good thing because Ghost never looked into Angela until Tommy said, hey, you know she's a federal attorney? Hello? Like, so yes, I like the fact that Mary put her side dude on Tariq to find out who he really is. It makes sense.
That's the worst side booty you could ever have. I don't. That's ridiculous.
Gotta get the information, man.
Yeah, man. So you
gotta have an inside man.
But meet him at your house, like what?
Yeah, that's
like with your kids, like dude. No, y'all get a whole. Y'all don't watch enough movies to know that y'all just get a Motel 6 or something. Like y'all don't do that. Like even in the car, maybe. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Do the whole Uncle Clifford and Little Murder route. Something. Just like.
Hey, and walk in the woods.
Yeah.
Walk your ass 2 miles down the woods. Walk off. I mean, I'm seriously. If you're trying to get information, really, are you going to really drop off? Like, especially him being a cop. Even for him, doesn't you think that's a really bad idea? Like, that's a really bad idea. Like, knowing that family is I'm only assuming that family is on like the police's watch list, perhaps. You know what I mean? I'm only assuming. Why would that he drove his police cruiser? Like that's the thing. That is not yours. That is company's car. That is the company car. That is not yours. You don't. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you don't get to keep that. You're not even supposed to drive that shit home. You know what I mean? You don't even supposed to do that. So you're gonna drive that to your side boo's home, who is also a criminal? What? Like, to use one of Stacey's lines, he gonna die. He's gonna have to die. He's gonna have to die sometime in the next couple episodes. You know what I mean? I mean, they're pointing towards Kain, obviously, that's gonna be doing it, but either way, he did.
So I totally agree, but I think this is much okay. So I think it started off like as a love relationship, but even I think maybe she's living her truth. She's like, look, you got to use what you got to get what you need, right? So I'm assuming she does care about this man at some level, but she's also like, huh?
At her house, though.
No, that's stupid. No, I'm not defending that in any way, shape, or form. Like that's as dumb as fuck. Especially when she's like, Kain better not, like not just all the kids, but she was like Kain especially because she
clearly knows who that is if she's just saying Kain and not saying, oh, my son,
right? And then he doesn't even see the Range Rover behind him. Like, he's a cop. Like, he looked around, obviously trying to act like he's trying to make sure nobody knows he's showing up there. Like you said, in his police car, in fucking uniform. But anyway, I totally agree with that. But again, back to the Google thing. If Monet was so concerned that she asked Ezekiel about him, so concerned that she asked the cop to look into him, she don't she don't watch TV. Forget the internet. Let's just focus on TV. She don't watch TV and notice the media coverage of Jane St. Patrick, who was murdered by Tasha St. Patrick, who's survived by Tariq St. Patrick. And as we said in last week's episode, she did drugs in Queens, where Ghost, Tommy, Breeze, and Kanan ran the place.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the white boys even recognize him. The white boys at the party even recognize him.
Yeah, but
I was like, oh, you're the son. Oh, you're the son of Capet, whose mother killed him. Like, they knew, but you didn't. Like, I don't know. Maybe the Wi-Fi ain't working in the last, like.
You can kiss my black ass on this, dude. Like, I was like, this is too much ignorance. Like, this is too much ignorance for them to be like, I have no idea who this Tariq kid is. And when she finds out next week who it is, she's going to be like, oh, my God. I didn't realize that his mom was in prison for killing his dad. I wonder who his dad is. What the fuck? If that happens next week's episode, I'm cussing the show out. After she figures out James St. Patrick is his father and she can't connect the idea that he's Ghost, I'm going to be like, fuck this show. Officially fuck this show. that they're gonna be like, I don't know who this ghost is. We should have heard about him as he was coming up in my Queens. Uncle Frank didn't know who he was. Uncle Frank, who's like old school drug dealer, he didn't know Breeze or Kanan, huh?
Well, he was in jail, so I mean, you can say that.
But so and then in Power Book 3, we're gonna hear how Kanan's mom ran the streets in Queens. So let's say, yeah, like Kanan's mom and his uncles ran Queens, and then they gave it to Kanan. Kanan gave it to Ghost. Ghost gave it to RSKs. Huh?
Yeah, no, I'm just repeating what you're saying. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that was the premise. Was like,
yes.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm like, I mean, Queens is a big place. That's not, I mean, I know it's a big, even the Latinos have their own section. I'm just saying though, as big as they are supposed to be, none of them knew their names. No one knew their faces. All brand fucking new, huh?
But some white boys at the party did.
But the white boys at the party were like, I think I see you. Can we get into the
Skid Mark's brothers?
Skid Mark, and then I want Stacey, any more thoughts?
Let's go there.
You want to go? Okay, because these motherfuckers. Let's talk about the different world / grownish show that we're watching now. I'm trying to update my terms.
No more Safe from the Bell.
Yeah, no, I figured that was high school. I gotta stay up with the times. So Tariq is running college. Please tell me how Professor I want to bone somebody. So Carrie, let's start with Carrie. So Professor Carrie, we realize Carrie actually has a sex and love addiction that she's talking to her counselor about, which answers.
I had to rewind. I was like, did she just say? I was like, I'm your sponsor for. It's like love and sex. I was like, wait, hold on. Did she say? Yeah. I was like, okay, really? All right, now I know. Okay, if they don't have sex, then she's having sex with Tariq's roommate, something. I don't know. I was like,
So let's go down this road, right? Because that's why I was like, everything until that point, I was like, why is she up Tariq's ass? Like, why is she
trying to get up in Tariq's ass?
So once I heard that, then I was like, well, let's look at this, right? So then she hires her ex-boyfriend who wrote a book about her being a sex addict, or at least in general world character, hires him, fucks him at work, fine. He doesn't recognize the signs of her addiction. Like he don't go, why is she so interested in this Tariq kid? Is this gonna be her next sex target? Like that don't cross his mind. To me, like that's why I would be looking for it.
In his defense, I would say he is so much in love that he's blind to everything else. Same deal how Ghost was so in love with Angie that he could not, that Tommy had to kind of keep him astray and be like, dude, are you not look around you, like you're not questioning shit. I think that's really, dude, no joke, man. Love makes you do some stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Chris, she has a medical issue. Like this, like this is not like a long relationship. She has a medical issue. And it's interesting that her sponsor would say some shit like, it's cute in your 20s, but as you get older, your sex addiction just becomes weird. Like, shouldn't an addiction be a problem at any age? But she's like, it's, anyway, Stacey, what are your thoughts on this issue?
She needs to die. I just don't get the point of her character. Like, for her to, first of all, she shows a lot of interest in Tariq, and she decides to set up a visual for his father with some random college students for him to just roll up and see a big picture of his dead father that his mama killed allegedly, but we know he really killed him. And this is supposed to open him up emotionally and make him want to talk. Where did she go to school? Like, what kind of?
You should get fired. That's what type of counseling is that?
Talk about overstepping boundaries. Like, seriously, I'm just gonna roll up the campus and see my daddy picture big as day. Like
happy birthday, surprise. Now speech.
I'm happy you showed up, Tariq. Bitch, I didn't know this was happening. Like, I just walked back to campus, and I'm seeing all these people out here talking my name and my dead dad. Right, the dad that I murdered. What are we doing right now? I think, so real quick, though, I think Carrie, Professor Carrie, I think she's into smart people. Like, I think the reason why, like, she fucked Jabari. Listen, she fucked Jabari. she don't want to fuck Zeke, and Zeke is
Look
trying
at
to
me
give
and
it to her.
Chris faces.
Look, I'm saying, I think the reason why, like, she's not responding to Zeke's obvious, I will do you if you don't mind, but she's into Tariq. I think it's because she looked like he's a smart guy. Like, in that sense, he's a lot like Jabari.
So
Like,
she's only sexually addicted to smart people?
Yeah, to nerds, right? She has a nerd addiction.
She has a type. She has a type.
She's
So,
like, yeah, so like,
she's a
man, I'm going to
sapiosexual.
Oh my God, that's so hot. You're going
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's possible. I'm trying to explain why she doesn't have a history of fucking her students. Like, if she really has a sex addiction,
we don't know. We don't know. We just found out she had a sex addiction. Who knows? Yo, in order to have a sex addiction, you need to already have a past. So that book might come out. They might be reading some excerpts and be like, damn.
And that's my other question. How is it you have a class of literary scholars who don't look at the book that one of your professors wrote about a sex addiction? I mean, I would have been all over that shit. I would have been like, what did Professor Jabari write about? I mean, I'm sure they weren't necessarily connected, to her, but like,
or he could have used a pseudonym, just like Stephen. Like a lot of authors do that to not necessarily get too many eyes on them. They'll actually like use pseudonames and whatnot, like fake names.
All right.
So perhaps, or like in your defense, I would say like it being STARZ being STARZ, and they'll just have you not think about that. You know what I mean?
Like,
it could just be
the fact that they mentioned this dumbass book. I'm like, it's got to come up. Like this, there have to be laying the groundwork for a storyline somewhere. Like, it's.
Can we go back to something again? I want to go back to the party incident, right?
All right.
Yo, this nigga. I'm sorry. Well, nigga, I don't care. He's white, whatever. This dude punched the cop in the face, right? Punched the cop in the face. You arrested. We're arresting you, blah, 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 blah. It was like, said, don't you know my last name is like, what was it? Wait, is that, yeah, oh, like the auditorium? That's why I put
and the pool?
And in the pool. Like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. There's an auditorium. Yo, there's an auditorium named after you. Sorry, sir. Sorry to bother you. I don't, bruh.
Let's talk about snitching indicators, shall we? All right. So Tariq, to when he's talking to Kain, right? He breaks it all down because he has a long history of working with prison snitches, which makes no fucking sense. But let's just keep it moving. Let's look at those same indicators on his best white ass friend. Okay. So he's selling drugs. He's not selling shit. Braden and Effie are selling drugs for him at Choate. Effie's the one that snitched on him, right? But Braden was the one out there actually selling drugs. No one bought drugs from Tariq. They bought drugs from Braden. But somehow Braden didn't get caught up. Somehow Braden ends up at his school in his dorm room saying shit like, hey, bro, when we gonna get back to the business? Motherfucker, you got like Amazon level money apparently. You got school shit named after you. You got people bowing down to you just on your last name alone. But all of a sudden, you want to get back to slinging these drugs because you want to get some money? You are a snitch. Like, I would be like, right? How does he not see that? Like, there's no motivation for Braden to be up his ass about moving drugs besides the fact that he's a snitch. That at some point, like, how did you get into school? How did you get out of Choate? And you got no shit on you? Braden would be in the ground right now. If this was Ghost and Tommy, they would have killed that dude.
Maybe?
Huh?
White privilege?
Nah, dude, like,
no.
Like,
I mean, well, we know how he got into school, so that answers.
I mean, he made half of it, but I'm like,
yeah.
But Tariq don't ask these basic questions, Mr. I know what a snitch is.
Right. I got skipped out of school, so how did you get skipped out of school? Like, you just happened to find me here in my dorm room. Oh, hey, Tariq. How?
Yeah.
Let's get back.
I feel like that's more STARZ writing than anything. I really do. No, like, think about it. Like, I don't think it's less about just the fact that he's a snitch, more of just they wrote that in there.
I mean, there's no way we're gonna see. And as we talked about before the show started, right? They want us to believe that Tariq is gonna be the one to come to Monet to be like, hey, Miss Drug Dealer, I know you never thought about this, but college kids buy drugs. I didn't know if you knew that. And I can help you move drugs into this school using my friend Braden, who's disrespected by his older brother. So how exactly is this kid who was shitting on his brother and his black friend, which I'm assuming that's what skid marked me. I think he was trying to be racist there. I think to extent.
Okay. So he said there's no skid marks allowed. I counted at least 3 other black dudes that was at the party chilling.
Chilling.
So are they?
Is that what skid marks mean?
Yeah.
That's what I took from it.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like a callback to like when he was a kid and he just
like shit didn't wipe his ass good enough.
I just thought he just had dirt. You know how like sometimes older brothers can be or something where it's like they know you as something that you it's like, oh, you wet your pants, we're just gonna call you wet panties or something. You know what I mean? And that's your name until the day you die. You know what I mean?
I think originally for Braden, they were going back to the past where, I guess, Braden didn't wipe his ass good enough. But when he looked at Tariq and was like, we don't allow skid marks in here, and then asked his white friend, and that wasn't a coincidence, do we but like you said, when the party got back on after he punched the shit out of the cop, there was at least 3 black kids behind him screaming, let's get it on. I'm like, and it's the only reason I think the skid mark Tariq was able to stay was because he's famous. Because he's the one whose dad was murdered by his mama.
He's cool. They do crime, yeah. That reminds me of the whole Dave Chappelle episode, the KKK things like did he just call us niggas? Yeah,
but that's what they want us. That's what they want us to go with. That Tariq is gonna be like, guess what? I got a whole new opportunity for you. We can start moving drugs in school because you never thought about that street dealer. And I'm like, you can kiss my ass.
You know what? I would like to see both of those worlds combined. Though I would like to see like these white kids who are dealing with privilege, who are thinking like, yo, no one can tell us what to do, and like I don't know, maybe Tariq dealing with like Monet's help with the drugs, like maybe dealing with them, and maybe like one day they're like, oh, we don't have to pay you shit or whatever, and then Kain had to steps in and he beats them to a bloody pulp, and they're like, that would be, I don't know. There would be something kind of interesting to see those worlds combine. You know what I mean? That would be interesting if they even do that. I don't know.
I can see that. Tariq breeding the bridge, like he's gonna need some muscle. Like once they not pay him, they don't respect him or his or Braden. So I'm just trying to figure out how they're gonna start this process. But I'm assuming he's gonna be like, I got pills. And then why would you sell drugs to a racist? Like somebody who just called you a skip mark. Like you can have some kind of self-respect. Shit. I mean, there's gotta be some other people in the school you can move drugs with. My bad, Stacey. I'm sorry. Did I go too far with it?
Why would he sell drugs to a racist? Is that
dude, because they're paying. What you talking about?
I'm just.
You know the history of drug deals, dude. They send it to people. Are you kidding? Like people got Confederate flags. It don't. Dude, if you are paying, it don't matter if you're black, white, if you racist or whatnot. The only color they agree with is green.
Drugs to their own mamas. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay. It don't mean shit, dude. That like in the real world, that don't mean shit. If you paying,
we can only sell to certain people.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
I was like, oh, you a Biden supporter, you a Trump supporter. It don't mean shit if you got money.
Now people get serious about that. I mean,
if you're a drug dealer, it don't mean shit.
I'm like, there's plenty of businesses who like we don't support your kind.
Drug dealers.
It's fine.
Right. I'm not talking about baking cakes. I'm not talking about baking cakes or shit like that. Okay, I'm talking about drug dealing, knowing that the market is limited, where certain people are going to give you money, especially people who will pay you on time. Your typical person is not going to give a shit if once upon a time your daddy was a KKK member or whatever. You know what I mean? Are you paying? Then fuck it. Whatever. Slap hands, whatever.
But dude called you a skid mark, but it's fine. I get you. He has to take that money.
I might whoop your ass after that if you call me that again, which I have a feeling Kain might have to step in, I feel. You know what I mean?
He can sprinkle a little crack on the pills and give it to the racist.
Little crack or give what do they give?
PCP.
Bad, like that little thing to kind of mix it up, and then they sniff and they die within a couple of days or some shit like that.
Oh shit, man! You can't kill your customers now. I mean, that's
well, maybe the one that's not paying.
Oh, that's true.
They ain't paying.
So we'll there's some issues I got with the school, but I will address that at the end of the video because I want to get to more important issues.
School, okay. Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about the trial of Tasha Green. So
why do you laugh?
This This is the bullshit. Like, at least Saxe acknowledged that, like, this makes no fucking sense. Like, Tasha, we couldn't even prove that Ghost was the drug dealer, but we're gonna prove that Tasha was a drug dealer. But then I like Odd's response was, you just gotta, they just have to prove that she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And like, you can't do that because she was knee deep in all that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and she's the only one standing. I'm like, these are all fair principles. I will give you that. So Paula, we introduced to Paula, Davis's investigator, former NYPD cop. No, she's by the book. I get it. She don't ask questions about how her boss is taking, how a teenager is getting 50 grand in cash a week. Like that don't raise any red flags for anybody, huh? And they don't look into the fact that the St. Patrick's former defense attorney was murdered in their house. This is not brought up either. I can't with either one of those. Like, what?
Here's my issue. Tasha got offered 5 years, right? She could have just did the time. She didn't have to take the other plea deal, which required her to disclose her accomplice. She could have just did the 5 years, sat down, shut the fuck up. When she got out, Tariq would have been graduated. They would have had the money and been done with it. Why are we even here?
Good question. That's good. That's good. That's a good question. She could have did the time since she said she wants to go down for her son. She easily could have did that. And this wouldn't even be an issue.
Well, I mean, but who would have oversaw the whole Kingpin thing? You know what I mean? Like,
we would have never even got there.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, if you would have thought, like, yeah, like, you're right. She could have done 5 years, or there's an easy avenue for her getting out. And he's like, oh, yeah, so I'm going to go with the easy route, right? Like, the easy
No, Tasha, just do the time. Shut the fuck up and do the time.
Yeah.
That's it. You trying to get out for what? Y'all ain't got no money till Tariq graduate anyway. You got free room and board. You got food. You got entertainment. You got snacks. Like, just sit your ass down for 5 years. You probably could have got out in 3.
Is being paid for. As long as her commissary is being paid for, then yeah, she's straight.
Put money on the books.
You got your son out here dealing drugs again to pay for your expensive ass lawyer, which is gonna get him in more bullshit that you're gonna have to cover his ass again. Sit your ass down, do the 5 years, and shut the fuck up.
I love the fact that Tasha actually believed that she could tell Tariq not to sell drugs last week. Like, she actually believed that he would listen. I'm like, dude, did you not go through book 1 with us? Tariq don't listen to nobody. Absolutely nobody, especially when it comes to drug dealing. I mean, he thinks he's smarter than everybody. So why did she even surprised that he was out there slinging?
The bitch said, I thought STARZ was paying for this. What?
And you ask no questions? Like, who's paying for you? That's question number 1. Hello, Counselor Davis. Who the fuck is paying your bill? Who asked you to come here? Like, these questions are not asked. But she's like, well, she don't figure out until later that Tariq is obviously selling drugs. And again, Paula has to know that this money is not coming from a legal place. Like, regular people don't bring in 50 grand in cash to pay for their lawyer. Like, that's not how that works, especially not a kid. They don't look for a kid to do this. Doesn't make any sense. All right. But anyway, we see that in this process, Blanca is back.
My favorite character. Yay.
and
it's clear that we'll see her again because she's going to testify.
Put me back on the stand because Saxe is full of shit. So
no way that she's the queen pin. There's no way. There's no way. Look, she couldn't do the body. She couldn't move the body by herself. She couldn't move Terry Silver.
But that's the point of her being a queen pin. She got her people to do it.
She got the people to do it. That feeds into the narrative that she told Tommy to do. But I love the fact, at least that they acknowledge how ridiculous it was that Tasha knew exactly where Silver's bodies were. And like, you had to be involved. How did you know where this body was, Miss Green? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, accomplice, but queen pin, like, I mean,
but so we already talked about that. Like, she's gonna have to blame everything on Tommy, or she's going to jail. And that's the bottom line. But so anyway, Blanca being back. Two things. I will keep on saying this as long as Saxe is on this show. Why has Saxe not put out a warrant for Tommy Egan's arrest for confessing to killing Angie? Like he didn't tell Mock or Ott that James and Tommy broke into his place, whooped his ass, and Tommy confessed to killing Angie. Nothing. Blanca knows that Tariq killed Ray Ray. That's the only reason her character was even presented in this show. And she once again will spend this season making no effort to bring Tariq to jail for killing Ray Ray. What?
Just a waste.
It's just like, why the fuck do we even bother? Like, and then she's already replaced by that new dude. Like, Saxe already has a lead detective. So as soon as she's done shitting on him in court, you won't see Blanca anymore. I don't understand.
Yeah, I like I said before, like in previous episodes, the show I think does best when they try to focus on the legal stuff, because that's where they tend to fall a little bit. Like certain things we're like, okay, certain things don't make any sense. Why is the police focused on this? And then they're completely like forgetting the fact that so and so was killed over in the alley of this. You know what I mean? Certain things like this. That I know, like, people probably chuckled in the last video when I said, hey, stick to like the violence, you know what I mean? But that's the only time it ever makes sense, when you're dealing with snitches, people who are robbing you, stuff like that. That's where like just typically no real complications with it, you know what I mean? Like normally, you know what I mean? But then when they get into the whole legality of it all, that's where stuff starts to fall apart with the show, I feel, you know what I mean? Or certain things I'm like, why aren't you, like you said, why hasn't there been a warrant for Tommy Egan's arrest? Well, not. If I had to count how many times they said Tommy's name out of anybody, Tommy's name, no joke. Rewatch the episode and see whose name was brought up more, Tommy, Tasha, or Tariq's. Well, maybe Tariq's. Like, there was probably neck and neck, but Tommy Egan's name was probably brought up almost as much as Tariq's name in this whole episode. I was waiting for them to have a post-credit scene with Tommy being like, these motherfuckers. Like, I was waiting. You know what I mean? I got the preview for the next episode, which was cool. But still, I was waiting for Tommy to be in the car or waiting out in the trees in the funeral. Like, you know what I mean? Which I didn't get, but it's okay. It's cool. You know what I mean? Something, you know?
Can we talk about this funeral?
Yes. Please, go ahead.
What's up?
Tasha is at the funeral.
That made no sense. And we said that last video. That made no sense. I didn't see the clip that David was talking about where he said that he saw a clip of her dressed in all black. I was like, I swear to God, she had better not be at that damn funeral. I swear to God. How is that possible? I even looked up. I looked up to see if any other cases like that. People who are even free, who are like free but under investigation for murder, even judges denied them even going to funeral. How is she able to do that? How is that possible? Who accepted it? And then just to have them like no talking. What? Huh? Like it.
And then she was going to do the eulogy.
Who even approved that?
Handcuffs.
In handcuffs, yeah.
And a see-through dress at the funeral. Like, why?
Well, the see-through dress makes sense. Make sure she ain't stashing like someone. She ain't stashing something.
Come on, they could have put her in a suit. And
you know, yeah, that was a little crazy. I'm glad that at least Tariq acknowledged Raina, you know, at her gravesite. That was cool, I guess, but I expected a little even more than that. But
can we talk about Estelle's response? Like, I thought it was weird as shit to be like, well, at least you're not alone, baby.
Oh yeah, I was like, you hate him. Like what? You told Tasha to stay away from that man.
She said, stay with that man because I need my mortgage paid.
Oh, like, wait. You know what? Sorry, yeah.
You don't want to work. Stay with James.
It's not even that. Who thinks of the idea of, I'm glad somebody's dead because now she has someone to be dead with? Like, that's my problem. Like, what thought process is that? Like,
I don't think that's what she meant. I didn't think she meant like, I'm glad she's dead. I think it was more like, it's like, at least you're not alone now. You know what I mean? That don't necessarily mean like, I'm glad that he's dead, so you're not alone now. I think it's just saying,
looking on the bright side.
Yeah, just looking at the bright side, like, damn, he's dead, but you know, at least you have somebody there now, you know, with you.
How about you visit?
I think that's all she meant.
How about you visit? Tasha visited once a week. Ghost only came back once when he finally got the Queen's Child Project, which I'm sure we'll never hear about that dumb shit again. I'm like, how about you visit your, huh?
He came in twice.
What was the second time?
Remember when she died and he was at the gravesite and Dre ran up on him and like,
that's right, my bad.
My bad. Oh, giving that little card like the Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, you like that? You like that? He's like, I know you'll be no gun here, so I don't know why we're talking. Anyway,
like, ooh, Dre's gonna come up badass.
Why wouldn't he have a gun? Like, you a thug. It is not like the gravesite has metal detectors. Like, what?
If he would have shot. Anyway, we're getting off track. My point is, I just like visit her grave, Estelle. Don't say no crazy shit. Like, at least he's dead now. Now you have somebody to be dead with. I thought it was stupid.
I did appreciate that Tariq had the line, just like we were saying, who all those people. Tariq said, I don't even know who the fuck all these people are. So I was like, okay, all right.
Thank you.
So at least it's clear that that was brought up by Tate's people, you know. Yeah. I did not like the fact that the motherfucker was wearing the whole Tate. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
The suit with the Tate. I was like, how tacky is that? How freaking tacky is that? You
and he was going to do the eulogy too if they would have let him. And it would have been all about him.
Yep.
Where's Lorette Walsh? You know, the guy the lady who his lieutenant governor, Ghost's former governor candidate, like she should have been there at a minimum because she's running for office too.
Wasn't in the budget.
It wasn't in the budget. As we said,
so you can have Loretta Walsh. It's like,
yeah, it's too many famous people in one episode, bro. They probably even had to pay just to have Ghost's picture in there. You know what I mean? Probably had to do that. So
he was like, my picture costs money. He's too busy rapping on his house step right now.
I didn't. When you said that video, I didn't even click on it. But I was like, nope.
You should have clicked on it.
I should have.
The gym.
Oh God.
Amari needs a job, ladies and gentlemen, because he's out there rapping on the stoop, and it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
But
rapping about his badass kid.
So when I saw an empty seat next to Tasha, I thought I was like, okay, maybe because she's in jail, maybe there was an empty seat. But I was also thinking like, well, the brother randomly popped up, and that's why I was actually thinking like, I was thinking it could go either way. Like it makes sense if someone's in jail, you don't want someone to be too close to an inmate that could possibly like slip something, perhaps. But then it bothered me too because I was like, I don't see no one over by the tree smoking a cigarette or something or walking up. I ain't see no one, so I was thinking like, is someone gonna randomly sit next to her or something? You know, so that ain't happened. So I was just kind of, you know, it was kind of interesting that we didn't see Ghost's brother, which I guess now if they introduce him, it would kind of make more sense to have him being introduced a different way. Because like we all said, if they introduce him at Ghost's funeral, then where the hell, like you said, where the hell was he doing Raina's funeral? Where was he doing all these other events, these horrible events and stuff like that? That now it's going to have to be someone searching for him, perhaps, most likely. You know what I mean?
I actually thought before we found out Professor Carey had a sex problem, I thought she was going to be his sister. Like when because like remember when Zeke asked where are you from, and she didn't answer the question, right? And she kept on like, where's Tariq and Tariq and Tariq and Tariq? I was like, either she's related or she wants to have sex with Tariq. One of these two is the answer.
Because she didn't answer. No, I felt she didn't answer because Zeke was trying to pull on the try to spit game, and then she was like, nah, fuck you, nigga. Like, no, I don't answer no.
You're not my type.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get off track with that. Like we said, we thought Tommy was going to show up. He should. I thought Ramona should have been there, minimum. Like, if you're going to bring Tate back, Ramona would have been good. Not sitting next to Tasha, obviously, because he was going to leave her again for another woman. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been cool. But like just in the background, I thought would have been something. But you had the bishop there. Stern paying for the whole damn thing. Anyway, Ghost is dead now. I think we can acknowledge that he.
Well, it's cool casted though.
We didn't see a body.
He was closed casket. It was closed casket.
It was closed casket.
If you know what, I was like to you. If you would have had a shadowy figure, like I would have been like, is he really
with a cigarette?
Was like, are you like for some reason he's wearing a tank top and you see the tattoo, like you don't see his face, you just see the tattoo for some reason. He's walking off. I would have been like, ain't this a bitch? I was like, he's gonna come back as his own brother. He's like, for some reason, they got the same tattoo for no damn reason. Uncle Gabe, I just want to acknowledge Uncle Gabe was unnecessary. Like, a random old dude walks up to you and goes, I'm your Uncle Gabe, or great Uncle Gabe, actually. And I knew your daddy and your grandpa. What's my grandpa's name? I didn't know I even had a grandpa. What about my you know, like, what was the point of that? Instead of to say your dad turned out to be something, he don't mention the fact that his grandfather was murdered. Tariq's granddad was murdered by gang members, drug dealers, and then his father becomes a drug dealer. Like, that's a conversation.
I felt the part of the reason. Well, I think it was two reasons. I feel like perhaps, you know, we'll most likely see the uncle again. But I really felt like the reason for that small conversation is the same reason why we had the conversation with Stern, was saying like your father was even with Tasha was saying like your father was complicated. You know what I mean? Try to basically, those three conversations basically was saying, even with Stern saying like your father needs a whoosh, like a change. You know what I mean? I felt like it was just saying that his father wasn't a piece of shit as all the time as Tariq thinks he was. You know what I mean? That there was a different layer to him. Yes, he had that side. He was Ghost, but he also was James, who also was looking out for the family. You know, like came up with hard times and whatnot. And I feel like these three conversations that we had in this episode will probably maybe, I don't know, reshape somewhat of Tariq, of what, you know, what Tariq kind of thinks of his pops. Maybe he'll talk to his guidance counselor about it a little bit more. Perhaps, you know what I mean, open up.
Over
probably
dinner.
have some remorse about it, have a nightmare where Ghost pops up like, you killed me, or some shit. You know?
I want to wake up with another gun to his head. You're like, oh, fuck, what? You remember?
Oh, yeah. That was pretty
damn
intense. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, that's some PTSD for your ass right there, bro. Like, you got to feel that again. Stacey, what are your thoughts on the situation?
I feel like they're trying to make Tariq sympathetic. Like, we supposed to ignore that he killed his daddy over some bullshit. Like, for no reason. Like, your mama's in jail because of you. Like, people are dead because of you. But they're trying to make him seem like, oh, he's just a kid and he's so smart and he's so this and la 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 la. Like, it's irritating. Like, I feel like they should have did like Spartacus. They should have series 1 closed. Then they did the prequel. Give Tariq about 2 years to grow some chest hair and get some bass in his voice, and then come back as a man, and we could see him as this person they're trying to make him to be. I'm not buying it. He's a kid. He's confused. He ain't that damn smart as they try to make us feel like he's just so smart. Like, it's irritating. You killed your daddy.
Yeah. Now, in defense, in episode 15, which I agree makes no damn sense compared to episode 10, Ghost whooped Tariq's ass again.
How many people have gotten their ass whipped by their daddy and they managed not to kill them?
Hold up. Ghost threatened to kill him. Like he said it. Like, he threatened to kill him and to send his mom to prison. Like, but in the end, Tariq said why he killed him. I want to go back before you left us for Angie. And that's why he shot him. It ain't got nothing to do with that other bullshit.
Makes no sense. You can't go back.
Can't go back, bro. So I killed you because you ruined our family. And I'm like, but anyway, you're right. I mean, Rain is dead because of Tariq. That shit ain't never gonna get answered. I mean,
Keisha's dead because of Tariq. Like, Keisha's dead because of Tariq.
Yeah. That shit ain't gonna get answered.
I mean, hell, even Sean's dead because of Tariq, because he's like, he inadvertently let it slip out about like, say Sean spent a lot of times with mom. I'm like, you know, like, and it's like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? You know, Mary J. Monet was right. For the next episode, I guess that we see in the preview is like saying like everybody that messes with Tariq is either dead or in jail. So I'm gonna be honest, he is kind of somewhat of a curse. You know what I mean? Like
a curse.
I just feel like and if those strippers don't watch out, they might be next because now that they dealing drugs with them, that's got to be honest. So I guess it's confirmed now that I guess he is 18 really because. Homeboy is telling him like, "Hey man, we had so much good time in the strip club." And
I let the age thing go, bro. I'm like, I don't because they just moved this shit along to fit the plot, man. I'm like,
no, that's right. I cannot bring age.
you know how I feel about that shit. All right.
So, one show in particular that would not complexion, leave it alone.
So I just to go to convenient, plot ignorance. It's amazing how Professor Carey somehow had no question for the fact that Zeke went from let's say a B and C student to a prize-winning writer. Yeah. Magically, at the same time that Tariq moves into his room, she don't ask no damn questions. Like, that's classic Saved by the Bell shit. That is classic.
Oh, she knows. Oh, you don't think that she knows?
No. Because she did, she would have called her soon-to-be lover to be like, Tariq, why are you doing this? Like, she wouldn't be addressing that issue.
She's going to address it all right. She's going to address like, I know what you've been doing with Zeke, and you don't want me to snitch. Like, I'm telling, she knows. Dude, she knows. That's why she even look at Zeke like, like, can you tell me more about the summer? She knows, and she's going to use that as leverage.
We'll see
that leverage.
We'll see. I wish she is as smart as you say she is. I hope that's the case, and she uses that to get Tariq's draw.
Tariq is technically not the like what Stacey said. Like, or is it you that said it's not that Tariq is smart, it's that everyone is stupid. Like,
he's right.
It's like Idiocracy. If you saw the movie Idiocracy, the dude wasn't really smart. It was just everyone was just dumb, and therefore he was the smartest man in the world. So that's Tariq. Congratulations.
Good work, Tariq. And to that point, that's why I loved Effie. Like, this season, these first two episodes made me appreciate Effie more. And more I see him surrounded by these people who are not as smart as he is. Like, Effie challenged Tariq to be better. Like, she was better at him at school. She was better at him at chess. She was better at him in the drug game. And she said, stop being a stereotype. Like, be better. And I'm like, none of these characters are doing that for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Lauren is gonna do it. I don't think Diana's gonna do it. Sure as fuck, Brayden is not gonna do it. Like, I don't think any character is gonna challenge him to be a mature adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's gonna be running rings around these people. And that's the reason I just wish Effie would come back in a more substantial way to me.
You don't think his Hispanic chick ain't gonna do that?
No. She wanted to get him the draws last week and this week. Magically, the chair next to her was open when he came to the class late again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that she will be like, Tariq, you the coolest thing I've ever met, and so is Diana. I mean, they're already no, in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you don't think? I mean, I don't expect Diana to, but like, okay.
We haven't seen it yet. That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen it yet, and so no, I doubt it. But Effie, from day one, she was like, get your shit together. Like, who are you and why are you like this? And you messing it up for us. That's just me. Anything else before I talk about the stereotypes? Because I'm gonna get
the Plan B pill.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. What about it?
So an inmate needs a Plan B pill, and Tasha asks Tariq at the funeral, like, give me a Plan B pill. Like, where's this kid gonna get a Plan B pill from?
Hey, let's just keep it. Let's not ask
smuggle it into the prison, but apparently he got it done. So
yeah, I would imagine that maybe she thought that like he had some sort of connection to kind of get it. You know what I mean? Just like Tariq was able to magically get this really expensive lawyer. Just like, well, shit, maybe he can get this damn pill. You know what I mean? Or at least hit somebody up. You know, with I don't know.
But then she's also the same parent who had said, "Why are you doing what I believe you're doing? Stop it! Like, focus on school. You don't need to be out here."
The same mother that said, "I'm gonna teach you the game."
Yeah. Tasha's not very consistent. I feel like she's dealing with a Jekyll and Hyde thing where she says she might be bipolar. She might be undiagnosed. I feel, she says one thing and then all of a sudden she goes completely the other way. You know what I mean? Like, You
just got to check the writers because this makes no damn sense. But now, Tariq, as much as he knows about the game, he don't realize he gave Monet leverage over him now. Because once he goes to her to be like, "I need you to help me with my mother in prison," which again she should have known anyway by watching some point of TV. Now she got him. She's like, "If you don't do what I tell you to do, your mom's gonna have an accident." Because because my husband, I talked to my husband who's gonna run the prison, who's gonna get these Plan B pill. How is that gonna work faster than the inmate, than the guard who I told you was gonna be her Charlie Murphy? Like, that guard is gonna be her Charlie Murphy. But like somehow Tariq's plan is going faster than what the guard can do. Really? Like somehow Tasha's gonna get the pill to this new woman first, the queen of prison, faster than the guard, huh? All right.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, that part I don't know, but I guess it would make sense in the sense of like you want to be the one to kind of be on good terms with the woman that runs shit in the prison or whatnot, and looks like she got more leverage on other guards and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, like introduce her. Hey, I got this Plan B pill. Without her be like, how the hell would you know? You know what I mean? She might be like, "Were you spying on me, bitch?"
Yeah, what?
Yeah, she might be like, "Were you spying on me? How you know?" It's like, trust me, I know everything that goes into prison. I might have only been here for like a couple.
You don't get all Mama Rose on you.
Yep.
Yeah, but I guess she would only been in prison for like just 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
2 weeks. But you know what? But just like they say, hey, if you go into the Fed pen, like in order to make a statement so people don't mess with you, the first thing you're supposed to do within the first 72 hours is you punch out the biggest dude in the in the cafeteria, so motherfuckers don't mess with you. You know what I mean? Maybe she went, in the very beginning, so people don't mess with me, I gotta establish that I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like, I can get you these pills. You know what I mean? Because they ain't gonna be part of the commissary. Because they'll be like, you ain't supposed to be having sex in here. You know what I mean? All this other shit. You know what I mean? So, so we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. That was kind of interesting. In fact, dude, why is it at every episode too that they always have to focus on a book, right?
Right?
Like Moby Dick, even this episode, it was like Cooper Sachs even brought up a line saying it's like we're over here being like being like
Captain Moab with his whale.
White whale. I'm like really now. So that means next episode we might have a callback to Great Expectations as well too.
It's a college show now.
I get it. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. They're trying to go to PBS route where it's like, we're going to show you murder, but we also want you to educate yourself.
The more you know. Stacey, I'm sorry, you were saying? What's going on?
Okay, so Tasha was incarcerated under a state charge, and then they switched her to a federal charge, but she's in the same prison?
Yes.
Like, don't they send you to, like, a federal situation, not a state? I mean, I don't know. I ain't been to prison yet.
Me either. But she's not convicted of anything. I mean, right now. I mean, she's in like, temporary prison. She hasn't gone to like, she's in jail, not prison. Okay.
The
moment she's
only been charged. She hasn't been convicted.
But somehow she's in the same place as this career criminal down here who's been there long enough to run the whole damn place. So I'm like, I mean, I don't know anything about jail or prison, but that just don't seem like that makes sense. Like, again, that's a Mama Rose situation that she went in with clout. But I understand why she wants to appease this woman. My question was, how is she going to get that pill to her faster than the guard who works there and works for this woman? Like that doesn't make sense to me. That all of a sudden this elaborate Tariq plan is going to work better than the guard.
From what it sounded like the guard was dragging her feet to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like you were supposed to get like you got another 56 hours, which I forgot what the time frame is. Where like
it's like 72 hours. You have to take it. I think it's like 72 hours. You have to take it.
Yeah, it's like 72 to 96 hours, right? So the guard couldn't get it fast enough. She's like, well, shit, that guard couldn't even get it just being able to go out on the outside, shit, maybe my son can get it much faster. You know what I mean?
How about the man guard she was fucking gives her the pill? I'm sure he'd be more motivated to make sure this baby don't be born. I mean, but anyway, let's see what this Orange is New Black shit, gonna go into. That's another aspect, I guess. So we got Orange is New Black, we got Grownish, and we got The Wire. Like, there you go. Meets.
You know that happens in real life, like
Dexter.
Prison inmates do get pregnant, like
and Dexter. Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's like these are a lot of different aspects that they're trying to develop. You know what I'm saying? Like how deep into the prison game is Tasha gonna get before she gets out on these dumbass charges? Like this can't drag on too much.
Just do your time, Tasha.
Just do your time, Tasha.
And then I don't know, maybe the homegirl who she's about to help out with the plan B or whatnot, like maybe they do each other wrong. Does she does her wrong? Tasha gets released, and then all of a sudden she gets released afterwards. Like, guess who's back, motherfucker? Like don't forget, I wouldn't be surprised if be like, yo, and by the way, Monet's my cousin or some shit like that. It's some weird ass reveal.
Now remember how quickly Teresi figured out more in days figured out that Mr. James St. Patrick is the ghost and his partner is Tommy Egan, something that the law enforcement couldn't figure out for years, right? Bet all of a sudden, depending on how important this queen woman in jail is, she's gonna be like, oh, are you the wife of Ghost? I do Ghost, but Monet don't know who the fuck he is. I will cuss the show out. If that woman all of a sudden goes, oh, so you with Ghost, huh? I remember him. I'm gonna be like, fuck this show. Like inconsistent is not even the word. I bet she finds out. Bet she hears through the grapevine who her dead ex-husband was.
Who's who? I'm sorry. What? I'm
the woman she's trying to appease is going to figure out that Tasha was married to the ghost. That she's gonna be like,
I would imagine probably all the inmates will probably find out. Probably.
But Monet can't figure that out. That's my point. Like, Monet don't know that already. I
mean, well, we already established how stupid that was that he didn't already know to begin with, and the fact that the white kids knew. So, the white kids find. You know what I mean? Those aren't the people that we cared about. That's not supposed to know. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
White people can find out. The folks in prison can find out. But the people that Tariq has to deal with right now got to be surprised. Like, oh. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't, hell, you might even find some inmates like, yo, you know what? Like, he said, I used to be a runner for your husband. You know what I mean? Or some shit like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route.
Monet's husband Lorenzo should be working with 2-Bit, assuming that Courtney, still allows 2-Bit to be in the show. I mean, it'd be interesting.
You're right. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. And Crystal Ball, who's somewhere in federal custody, would be interesting. I doubt he'd come back, but 2-Bit should come back. Anyway, or anything else before I get to the stereotypes?
Go with it.
All right, so, all right, I wanted to wait till the end of this episode. So if you're still watching, I appreciate that, you're a fan enough to watch this long. I'm really pissed off about the way this show perpetuates Black negative stereotypes, considering that this show is created and led by a Black woman. All right. So when I was watching this episode and we met Brushonda, I hope I got that right. I was really irritated with her character because I'm like, she's completely unnecessary the way her reaction was in class. She was the classic angry Black woman for no fucking reason. Okay. And for her to go off on Ashley, who was just commenting on the book, and Brushonda had to be like, bring up race and the N-word in class, where Professor Jabari from Wakanda, I guess, makes no effort to correct this shit. He just allows this shit to happen, right? So then Richard has to step in, Mr. Stereotype of Carlton. When I heard his name last week, I told you he will be a Black man who knows how to speak, and therefore he's an Oreo. I told you. And he was classic Stereotype, even with the name. I'm like, he couldn't be Jamal, right? He couldn't be Hakeem, right? He couldn't be Omari. He had to be Richard, because he's a sellout, right?
I know a lot of black preachers.
I'm saying you knew what they did, man. I mean, even Brushonda, her name alone created the picture in your head, and when you saw her, she was that picture. And I'm just like, it was unnecessary. And I'm like, as much as they have Ezekiel being the black kid in college who can only play basketball stereotype, the fact that you got Tariq, whose parents were murdered and or in jail over drug charges, stereotype, you have to give us this character like this. This is how you introduce her. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I don't think we're going to probably see not that much of her, maybe. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like they do stereotypes across the board, like the white boys at that party or whatnot. It's like, everyone's getting it. You know what I mean? And I feel,
But this show's it's not about led and created by white people. Is my point.
Yeah,
like a black woman who says, like,
I'm gonna be honest. I know chicks like that.
Of course you do. That's why stereotypes exist, because they're real people that fit.
Well, yeah, it's real people. So are we just gonna like give everyone the name of Chris just because? You know what I mean? Like. I feel you. I feel you, and I did kind of cringe. I was like, "Damn, at that school, they just allow her to talk like that," But at the same time, I wasn't as upset as you were. I guess I wasn't as upset. If that was everybody on the show, you damn right I'd be pissed. But the fact that she was just like barely even had a name, I even forgot her name until you brought it up. You know what I mean? That would have been one thing. But I was like, damn, okay, she just represents a typical ratchet person. You know what I mean? So, but I feel you. All
right, Stacey, what's up?
I agree that it was very annoying, and there was really no point. Like, if she was there to prove a point, I could see her being there, or if she's some type of integral character to the plot, like Epiphany, like but there's a point in her being.
What was that neck? Do that again?
Right? She has a point. She has a purpose in the show. Brushonda, or whatever the hell her name is, what was the point of that? They could have just sat there and had a class discussion. Her name could have still been Brushonda, or it could have been Katie. But it's like, what was the point of her? Like, did she have to be all,
Katie might have been pushing it. I'm trying to think. Do I know black? Okay, all right, but go ahead. Yeah, I don't know what you're right.
It was.
No, I feel you.
And again, so the fact that later on you hear Jabari and Carrie having a conversation about Tariq once again, how to make Tariq better. He's, as a black man, he's dealing with the struggle of his daddy dying. I'm like, I'm not sure what his race have to do with any fucking thing. Like, he's a very privileged child, is what I'm seeing. A child who's getting his ass kissed since he's been in school is what I'm seeing. Like, so
her is like, she trying to do all this black struggle shit, but like, Zeke is black and he's struggling with his education. Why not help him by tutoring him and getting him up to speed so he can legit do his own work and be somebody other than a basketball player? Because he might not get drafted. Then what is he gonna do? Work at McDonald's? Like, tutor this kid. Care about this black man. Why are you so focused on this poor, struggling black man? Well, you got another poor. I'm sure there's struggling black men at this college.
Yeah.
Like, why Tariq? It's irritating. I don't like her. She needs to die.
She needs to die too.
Well, she already said that though. She said 4 Carrie was unnecessary. If they're laying the groundwork that Carrie's sex addiction somehow flows into Tariq, then it makes sense, right? Then that's why we're going through this. Like, I will accept it. But like right now, I'm just like, it just don't make any sense, man.
They're picky sex addicts. Like,
everybody has a time. Oh yeah, so Stacey started talking about this. The fact that she told her sponsor Jabari could be my person and not like man. Then I was like, she opened to women too? Like, is this where this is gonna be going? I'm like,
no. I feel like, I don't know, she could, but I felt like that line, my person was to say like, this is the person where if I ever feel the urge, I just release it that way. I felt that's what she meant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? No, she could be doing both. I know. Who knows?
I don't know. I know you're right. You could be doing, but anyway, it's just interesting that, she's an addiction, but she hangs around with she got the man a job at the school. Like what? Like, how do you think those are going to turn out? But anyway, guys. Thank you. Whoa, anything else before we wrap up?
Thanks.
All right.
Who do you think gonna die next episode, Stace?
Now, who do you want to? Who do you think?
Somebody's long lost cousin is just gonna show up and be like,
Hey, pop.
I believe, even though he's a pretty, the cop, Ramirez. Like,
oh yeah,
he's gonna die.
4 seasons ago.
Yeah. Not next episode, but I can, but considering his, his background, like, huh?
I was like, shit. No, you said maybe not episode. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, he'll die this season. I mean, depending. I mean, how long they want the show to last. Like, I can see Kain putting him in the ground. I mean, I think they'll easily lay the groundwork for that. I want Brayden to get murdered. I want him truly to be a snitch, and Tariq has to put in some real work. Like, he has to kill.
Get Tommy.
Huh?
He needs a Tommy though.
He ain't no fucking Tommy. That's an insult.
No, but like seriously, like.
He ain't no.
No, I hear no. Yeah, and you're right. Nah, you're right. He needs to go. I guess my thing is, if there's one positive thing I could say about the kid is that Tariq is boring as hell, and at least with him even though he's a dumbass, you know what I mean? He makes Tariq gives him a little bit more human.
Yeah.
And then that my thing is if you do get rid of. If you do get rid of him, then you will have to like replace him with like Drew. You're gonna have to replace him with Drew or maybe Kain. You know what I mean? Like that would be an interesting relationship. See, Kain will be a great Tommy, but however, but then he would have to manipulate Kain to make it be like, like I'm, like just like I told you about your uncle or whatnot, because he already started to think like, damn, that kid's smart.
That's what I'm.
So already he'd be a great Tommy.
I think they're already laying the groundwork for that. I think that's the point of that scene. They're already laying the groundwork. Like Tariq is gonna be like, I'll be the brains of this operation, Kain. Like you and let me show you like how to use your muscle. Already laying the groundwork. If he don't kill Brayden dies because of the game, and then he can move out. You know what I'm saying? And then he can get a real Tommy. And I think that's where Kain or like Sir Drew's gonna come in. But Tariq has only killed 2 people out of emotion, right? He killed Ray because of Raina. He killed Ghost because he left him for Angie. Like he needs to do something for the business to be like I can do it, just because that's what's necessary.
Did it by proxy with Kanan.
Yeah. Can't. Yeah. But that was also for family. I mean, even that. I mean,
But it wasn't an emotional kill. It was kind of like where you gotta go, kind of thing.
I like all kills, I guess, if you think about it. Like, unless you're Tommy, But like Ghost is all his kills. It was like for him, it was necessary.
Yeah,
he didn't kill you. It was like shit. Like I have to kill you.
his first one when he killed not Breeze, Drift.
Miguel.
No. I'm sorry, that was his first one. But did stick with him for a little bit. I'm talking about his friend, his Roller. When he killed Roller, bro, like that hurt him. Like that hurt him. And I'm saying, I think
he knew he wasn't guilty, but he had to kill him because for some reason he was so loyal to Kanan, which makes no sense because you sent Kanan to jail. Like, why are you so loyal to this dude? Like,
I know. But I'm saying of all the murders he did, that's the one that he had to do a couple of shots on. Like, he really had to sit down to be like, this is some real shit. And I think also that's another thing. If he's the new Ghost had an alcohol addiction, which, we heard about and we kind of saw after.
He gonna start popping pills.
Or get back to that lane. Because remember when he was on that lane? When he hurt Raina? I mean, he was on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be interesting if the pressure gets him back.
How did he get off it? Did he go to rehab? Did he just shake it off? Like
after he killed Ray, he was like, I'm good, babe. Once he was he had to do the shimmy. He did the shimmy shake, and all of a sudden he was off that shit. But it'd be interesting if he gets back to the lane, I mean, or something, But he just can't. That's a lot of pressure on him, and I'm saying he's gonna need something to.
Ghost should have made him join the military instead of going to college. Join the military, get his shit straight, and then come back, and then you can get your money and you can do what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
That was his plan. Remember, he said, "You go off to military school. I can get you a deal, and you go."
Right.
We gave it to him as an option. He should have just sent the kid there. He should have been.
He should have just sent him.
Yeah, he should have just sent it. You know what I mean?
You can't.
I mean, the dude was underage. He had no say in the matter. Just send it to him. You see that he's in a bad path already. And you know what I mean? Like at that point, it's not like a kid who just kind of might throw things in the house and whatnot. No, that kid, either you send him away or he's done.
True. All right, guys. I gotta go. So
that look like
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. But anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. We will be back here for a preview of episode 3, Thursday or Friday, depending when the trailer drops. And we'll be back here to review episode 3 next Sunday. And thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you again.